All right, well, I'm rolling.
Okay, cool. So, it's time. We finally got an RTX 2080 Ti. What's special about an RTX 2080 Ti, you may be asking? It is a gaming card, but the whole RTX series, most gaming cards started with GTX coming from Nvidia. The RTX, I believe, stands for ray tracing. Ray tracing is what happens when you spend a very long time, typically, letting something render. You get a very nice image like what's going on way in the corner over there with our renders for a certain opera house. And this can take a while. You use something like V-Ray or Corona, these other rendering engines, and traditionally that would take a very long time. When Pixar made Toy Story, for example, every frame from that movie would take like 10 to 20 hours, I believe. Things have gotten better over time, and we're now at the point where you can get very high quality images in maybe a minute to again an hour. If you've got a lot of detail going on, that can be very complicated. But these new graphics cards, the RTX series, allow for real-time ray tracing. Real-time, of course, means it doesn't take 5 minutes to an hour or anything like that. I should probably be unboxing while I'm talking. But what is great about this, and the reason we want this now, is we are starting to do more projects that require very high quality photorealistic graphics. And this will allow us to get animations and stills and real-time experiences walking around things in, say, Unreal Engine, which is a gaming engine, and a card like this, which has a very robust cooling system, will allow us to get very high quality, very photorealistic results basically in real time. So each render might take anything from a millisecond to, if we want to pump out an animation, maybe we'll give each frame like 10 to 15 seconds to render. But this is a totally new technology. There's a demo, if you Google ray tracing Star Wars, that was kind of the first presentation of this from Unreal Engine and Nvidia, where you see all these real-time reflections happening. Reflections, typically very expensive. If you want to have a realistic sense of how something like a mirror interacts with a room, that's something that in real time, there'd always be tricks to that. You'd use what are called reflection probes, for example, where you're basically having everything within a certain area just pretend that it's reflecting from this singular spot, because it's much cheaper. Real-time ray tracing allows for everything to be much more realistic in real time. So in the Star Wars demo, you have Phasma there with a very reflective stormtrooper helmet, and you can see everything reflecting on it in real time, thanks to the power of graphics cards like these. When that demo came out, they had some kind of like $150,000 rig with a ton of cards like this, all working overload at the same time. Now, there are companies like Neoscape doing incredible, beautiful work off of a single card like this, and so that's what we are now striving to do. So, wish us luck. It's a beautiful card. Mwah. I'm looking forward to putting it in our powerhouse machine over there alongside 128 gigabytes of RAM and a very powerful CPU. Let's see. So that's the card in there right now. That is a GTX Titan X, which was a very, very powerful computer graphics processing unit when it first came out a few years ago. And now this is the same price as that. It's in that $1,200 price range, and it's like 10 times as powerful, depending on what kind of metric you're trying to use for it. And I'm excited to see what it can do. So, upgrading your graphics card 101, you find your graphics card, you unlock it from its PCI Express slot, and kind of yank it out really hard. Definitely try to break it so there's no resale value. Oh, I forget to do this all the time. Unplug any cables in the back of it, like DisplayPort, lest you break the graphics card and or the DisplayPort cable. Really all this stuff should be unplugged first. You have your power, so that'll be going directly into the new card. And now this card is just fan cooled, which essentially just means that this is the only thing that's cooling the card. This new card has a fan, but it also has these pipes coming out of it, which means that it is water cooled or liquid cooled. So I need to find a place for this whole fan and its sink and its tubing to go. You would think I could put it through the two holes here, but this does not attach, so it can't go there. So really the only place for me to put it, because up here is already using a liquid cooling system for the CPU, I need to pull out this fan. Luckily, I'm very bad at putting things in, and I didn't use any screws, and so this can just kind of pull right out. So no problem. So this is essentially going to go there. I'll screw that in, but we'll start with just plugging this guy in. Go. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
There you go.
All right. That was a good team effort.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I would do is just install the right graphics driver for it. So
Neat.
we're in business.
All right.